from the San Francisco Standard. This is the first one. Completely free grocery store set to open in the Bayview. And here we are. They're not hiding anymore. They're not trying to come up with some cutesy little name like they typically do to usher in communism. They're literally just telling you, this is free. We're doing it out of the kindness of our heart because we love you so much. There was another story about how the PG&E bills, the electricity bills, were going to be based on how much money you bring in. And it's like, okay, I guess who's going to be left? But that's what they want. They want to hollow out the middle class completely. So it's just going to be the political regime and some of the media elites and then a whole bunch of junkies self-vaccinating under the Bay Bridge. But my name's Eric. This channel is called Report and Opine. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm absolutely begging you.
I'm begging you, please. Come on, please.
It would help me a lot and it would cost you nothing. But if you want to help me even more and spend a little bit of money, go ahead and buy my book, New York City 2020, Gotham Unglued, on Amazon.com. That link will be in the description. But as far as this is concerned, does anybody in their right mind think that the political regime in San Francisco is going to keep this place operating efficiently for even 2 weeks? It's absolutely not possible. They say a new free grocery store held an opening ceremony Tuesday afternoon in the Bayview neighborhood where low-income residents can soon fill their pantries without spending a penny. The market officially opens its doors to serve the community on Wednesday, a press release from the mayor's office said. The store, dubbed the District Community Market, is the first of its kind in San Francisco. Free grocery centers like food banks usually only offer food in pre-bagged kits or farmers market style setting. Here, shoppers can choose what they put in their carts as they pursue long aisles stocked with the same groceries as any other market. Yeah, I'm sure this free market in the Bayview is going to rival that of Safeway or Whole Foods or Ralph's or Randall's or any of that. It's going to be the exact same, right? It's only a matter of time before this is completely defunct. And we've seen community refrigerators out in Brooklyn. It's completely disgusting. Like some random fridge plugged into the building inside with some rotting produce in the, I mean, it's completely ridiculous. But here we are. And I guess this is a way to sort of trick people into voting for the Democrat Party, I suppose, because they're going to be so far left, they're going to usher in communism. But I also kind of think that the voting doesn't even matter. They're going to take what they want anyways because they already have too much power. But that's a different story, and I digress, of course. This is the first one, said Supervisor Asha Safai, who spearheaded the legislation behind the market. We're going to continue to do more across San Francisco. Please don't. Please don't. You have already done enough. Around 150 people packed into the store for the ceremony. Neighborhood residents, city officials, nonprofit staffers, store workers, and contractors who built the market for free or oh yeah, it's all just free. They built it for free. The food is free. Well, who's paying for it? Where's this coming from? It's being produced out of thin air and nobody has to pay for anything. Yeah, I'm sure that's the world you would like to live into. You would like to live in. I would like to live in that world too, but it's a complete utopia. And trust me, San Francisco is no utopia. In fact, it is dystopian. And when they have a record number of overdose deaths in 2023, and then it comes down a tiny bit, they take the credit for, for combating the problem because it coincided with more law enforcement on the street. But for the millionth time, the city officials were too cowardly to even admit that the law enforcement might have had something to do with the overdose death decrease.
It's been a tragic year for overdoses because more people have died this year than ever before.
Well, the city set that all-time high benchmark for deaths. As the year drew to a close, the number of overdose deaths began trending downward. 84 deaths in January, 88 in August. By December, that number had dropped to 52 overdose deaths. On social media, Mayor London Breed noted the record number of deadly overdoses. In a series of posts, she said the city must continue to offer treatment programs and that, quote, we are also enforcing drug laws to shut down open-air drug markets. The downward trend roughly coincides with the increased federal, state, and local law enforcement crackdown in the city. City officials say it's too early to attribute the trend to increased enforcement.
Now, that is obviously a different story. I'm all over the place, but This is insane. They want to talk about, they built it for cheap or no cost. Well, who paid for it, right? Everybody out of the goodness of their heart went to the Bayview in San Francisco and spent their time and didn't see a dime to help people get free food that they were going to steal from a regular store anyways. The market features 4 aisles stocked with groceries you'd find in any other store. Milk, eggs, fresh produce, tortilla chips, canned beans. The market will serve community members who are low income and can meet all of the following criteria. So you have to live in one of 3 zip codes, receive public assistance, have children in the household, be referred by a community organization in the market's referral network. Okay, so somebody who works there for free has to refer you to get free food. Okay. Shoppers must obtain a grocery card similar to a Costco card from one of the market's partnering nonprofits. The city's Human Services Agency sets the food weight in pounds each shopper can take. Okay, so I guess they're going to try to make, because anybody could just go in and take everything they want because it's all free. And then Safeway's looking at them like, well, they've just been taking all of our stuff for free for years now. Look, I mean, it just goes on. Again, I want to keep the glass half full, as I typically do, but this is just not going to work. It's blatantly obvious in the London Breed. Oh, we're going to reimagine. Bro, you guys couldn't even keep the highest end stores in San Francisco. And your vision to reimagine it is to stop shopping online and go to a free grocery store built by people who worked for low or no cost, and they don't even explain how that happened. It's all government funded. It's all from the San Francisco taxpayer, the tech tax bros who are funding this, I guess. And of course, they would be laughed out of the building, right? Do you think that some, Kansas transplant who lives in San Francisco and commutes to San Jose for a $500,000 a year tech job, which isn't even really that much in San Francisco, he wouldn't be laughed out of the building and called white boy? I mean, it's just completely ridiculous. But that aside, more on the communistic food topic from ABC. Should people eat insects instead of meat? Experts, all the experts weigh in. The experts explain the benefits of bugs. And they run this story every 6 weeks. Oh, you should be eating the bugs because, climate change or whatever the hell. Yeah. I mean, we know it's all disgusting, but this is on the same level of the Transformers, right? I mean, if you can just believe that a man could become a woman, if you could just eat worms, then fine, right? Then you're all in. We know we've got you. However, my concern with this post is from this lady. Where is she at? Yeah. Ginger. There she is. Ginger Z. She says, I am in. She's got the blue check mark. She loves it. So who is that lady? She is a chief meteorologist and climate correspondent for ABC News. And look at this. This lady has 1.1 million followers, and her whole thing is to scaremonger about the sun monster. So out in San Francisco, of course, there's a free market and we love the blacks, right? I mean, this is just so weird. It's so insulting, right? The soft bigotry of low expectation is through the roof on so many levels. But this ABC News talking head, and I do believe, right, and I have plenty of reasons for this. I made an entire video about it. Maybe I'll do another one, but I actually think ABC is the worst of all the fake news for several reasons. But here is her profile, right? It's all about the sun monster or whatever. She's a New York Times best-selling author, certified broadcast media. All this stuff is made up. But most importantly, chief climate correspondent for ABC. That's made up. And here she is doing her job, scaremongering about the sun monster, taking an interview with ABC News, always broadcasting crap, of course. But she says, 12 consecutive record hottest months. New data and calls for action from the UN for countries to I don't think there's a typo. Countries to slash emissions, clamp down on fossil fuel companies, for businesses and media to stop taking advertising dollars from fossil fuels. And what about China? Their emissions are more than double ours currently. We talk about it here. So here's a clip from an interview with, I don't know, some lady, some other weirdo ABC News talking head about how scary the sun monster is.
News Chief Meteorologist Ginger Zee and head of ABC's Climate Unit is here.
Head of ABC's Climate Unit. When did that start? When did you create that position?
For more on this, Ginger, this new UN report warns that we are very close to
Okay. All right. I'm really not going to stop this every 10 seconds. But of course, she has a movie to push, or the network has a movie to push. And this is, of course, the same lady who was in the comments of one of the thousands of Eat the Bugs posts, right? Just this current iteration of Meet the Bugs posts saying, yes, let's do it. I'm going to eat the grubs and the mealworms. These people are completely despicable. And we all know they're not actually going to do it, but they want you to do it. Just like with scumbag greaseball bang your wife Gavin Newsom, right? I mean, I got 4 kids. I'm married to a woman, but you should be gay and or abort your kids. You should do it. That's good. Looks good on you, not me.
failing to meet these Paris Climate Accord agreements, and that the world is likely to again temporarily surpass this 1.5 degree Celsius mark.
Right.
What do these numbers mean? How significant is this?
They don't mean anything. It's all just, it's nonsense that I guess you think make people feel like you're more smarter. But no, it doesn't mean anything.
It's so hard because 1.5 degrees Celsius was set at the Paris Agreement for just a benchmark of saying, I don't know that we'll get there, but let's make that the cap. And unfortunately, we've surpassed it many times.
So we're admitting that it's all fake, but we're going to try anyways. We're going to make your life miserable. Shout out to Dr. Fauci, right? All science shows that if you make people's life harder, then they will get rid of their ideological BS.
And it's been proven that when you make it difficult for people in their lives, they lose their ideological bullshit and they get vaccinated.
Thank you. Are all objections to COVID vaccinations ideological bullshit, Dr. Fauci?
Temporarily, we have to surpass it for a 30-year average. That way it takes into account natural variability, so they can talk about El Niños and La Niñas, and over that time, it'll be 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. Either way, it's kind of arbitrary because we're already living this change. We are already living the extremes. And I think more importantly, I have in my hand here, globally
Yeah, so, I mean, that's true, right? It is arbitrary. You made it up. We're already living it. And guess what? I'm no doctor. I'm no scientist. I'm no lawyer. But yes, the climate's changing. So what? Were you gonna eat the bugs? And that is your plan to stop the problem? Is eating the bugs and stop driving a car? Give me a break, lady.
saw more deaths from heat than ever before.
More deaths from heat. And there you go. Every single thing. It is always life and death. Every single topic is life and death. If you do not obey their commands, then somebody's going to die.
And all of these names on all of these pages are from one county in Arizona, Maricopa County, where Phoenix, Arizona had
Wait. Those people died of heat? Right? But what about all the people that died of Rona? Do you have their names in a booklet too? I mean, you're just going to use this to your advantage? And it happens all over the place too, right? Like, I mean, I could maybe talk about some of the Americans who have been killed by illegals, right? But they don't want to look at that. I mean, this is just same thing with the pharmaceuticals. I mean, obviously you're going to use these heartstring issues to prove your point. But when you just blatantly say there's more deaths by heat than ever before, it's just like, bro, you guys are completely untrustworthy. And that's putting it nice, obviously.
145 heat-related deaths, a record number for them last year, and we will keep seeing those impacts as these heat waves become longer duration, more intense. And I think that's where we really have to focus rather than just 1.5.
Yeah, but hits home what these numbers mean practically every day in everyday lives. Those are lives
lost. If we had 645 lives lost in a hurricane.
No, it doesn't. No, they go on air and have a segment about how many lives have been lost from heat. So that proves our point. It couldn't have been anything else, right? I'm sure they had no other underlying causes, as they say. They weren't, 102 years old. It was just somebody that died of heat exhaustion out in Phoenix, Arizona, because the climate is heating up. And look, I'm not going to let these two drone on for much more. I'm not going to drone on for much more myself in this particular one, but notice the video here. It looks like they are pushing something. Saving tomorrow. I don't know. Actually, let's see if they talk about it.
And can you imagine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What stands out to you most from this other report as well about this 12th straight record-breaking month of heat?
Right. So 12 consecutive months. A lot of times you don't have 2 consecutive months where you're breaking it. We did one time before in 2015 and 16 have 12 in a row, but it was not this hot. We made it to 1.63 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. You can see the year right there, our 12-month stretch. It's the margin of how far away it was from the old record of 2015-16. And I think that's what really gets me is that yes, El Nino is a huge part of this, but this global data is here for us to read and realize that it is a combination of multiple things, and we are certainly one of those variables.
Now, the UN Secretary General says it's climate crunch time. What do you think he means by that? And what more?
Okay, none of it means anything, quite obviously. I let that go on for far too long. I thought they were going to talk about this program or this movie that they were promoting in the back, Saving Tomorrow, which I'm certain I will be tuning into and, modeling my life all around. But outside of that, we remember this guy who made it onto the Instagram account of Joyless Orwell Trump wig wearing Reed. Because he took shots at Ron DeSantis, because Ron DeSantis he's not taking the climate monster seriously. And my goal was to mention that, of course, this guy from NBC and that lady from ABC both have movies, both have, I don't know, these weird Al Gore type of scaremongering movies to beat you into submission and climate crisis, climate change. Oh, it's not too late. And of course, YouTube is going to put the banners all over it because how dare you not capitulate to the approved narrative. And last thing here, I'm sorry, but I also noticed this, and I'm not one to be follower counting or view counting or any of that, but I did look through several of this lady's posts, and for somebody with 1.1 million followers, her photos have 2 and 3 comments. Okay, this one has a little bit more, so it's not a great example, but you can see some of her posts with an account boasting 1.1 million followers and a photo with, you would get 2 comments in the first millisecond if any of that were real. But as we know, the climate hysteria and these weirdo climate zealots, it's all completely fake. Just like that weirdo free communist grocery store in San Francisco, it's all completely fake. But I guess the grocery store will be lucky they will be lucky to run efficiently for 2 months. Meanwhile, the climate scaremongering is going to last forever, and they're just going to keep moving the goalposts.